Summer is here, and a lot of you, myself included, enjoy the outdoors a lot more in the summer. There's just a lot more stuff to do outside, in my opinion. You've got the pool, you've got the beach. Can take a toll on the strands of your hair. Sun, you know, I'm always emphasizing the importance of protecting your skin from the sun, but what about your hair? You know, hair is a non-living entity, but we like it to look good, and the sun can really take a toll on your hair strands. It's called weathering. It is a very real thing. Not only the sun, but ocean water can be drying to the hair strands, and chlorine water in the pool can also, you know, leave them brittle, prone to breakage, damage prone. So in this video, I'm going to share with you guys some how to keep your hair healthy, glossy, shiny, while still enjoying all of the summer fun. Let's talk about what UV does to your strands. Well, it can change your hair color. It oxidizes the pigments in your hair. If you have blonde hair, it can cause yellowing of your strands. If you have brown hair, darker hair, it can kind of make the hair look almost a bit like it's got a reddish hue to it. But the other thing that UV rays do is they damage proteins in the hair and leave the hair very prone to breakage, very brittle, and they can lead to a characteristic type of hair damage, which can come not only from the sun, you know, this type of sun damage, but also can come from like overdoing it with chemical processing, bleaching the hair, or doing a lot of heat styling. It's called trichorexis nodosa. Basically, you get these little tiny nodes along the hair strand where it's basically a weak point. And if you look under the microscope, it almost looks like two paintbrushes mushed together. And I mean, you can tell just by looking at it, you don't need an advanced degree to see that that is an area of weakness, brittleness, almost like a rotting piece of wood there. The hair will break. And so a lot of people will be like, why can't I grow my hair long? Well, maybe it's damaged and you're getting a lot of breakage. You know, your hair is actually growing, but it just keeps breaking along the strands, so you never quite get that long length that you are seeking. Sun can really push this to a point where you're getting a lot of breakage from sun damage. Now, chlorine in pool water is also very drying to the hair strands, leaves them brittle, frizzy, and prone to breakage. Chlorine can also enhance penetration of certain like minerals and things into the hair. For those of you with blonde hair, that can end up leaving your hair green. I don't see that happening too often anymore, but it does happen from time to time. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to buy Sun-In, which for reasons unbeknownst to me is having a moment again. This is a product I don't understand why it still exists, but yes, you can buy it, and people are eating it up because what Sun-In does is it takes advantage of like lemon juice, citrus, to further enhance bleaching of the hair. But I mean, it really will fry your strands. I mean, trichorexis nodosa, here we come. So don't use that. Also, if you're enjoying the outdoors a lot this summer, you're gonna want to be mindful of what else you're doing to your hair. Try and cut down on unnecessary heat styling. Make sure when you blow dry your hair, you use the lowest setting possible. You make sure that you are using it, you know, moving it around continuously. You're not holding it on any one spot for a prolonged period of time. You know, maybe lay off on the flat iron. Get yourself those beachy mermaid waves as they naturally come out of your head rather than with heat. I'm not saying abandon heat, you know, there's a time and a place for heat, but if you've been using the pool a lot, you've been at the beach, you've been on vacation, good for you. You know, you might just be tipping things over the edge, causing a lot of breakage, leaving your hair fried. So might want to lay off of that. The other thing is for the pool specifically with the chlorine, here's a little hack. Get your hair wet with fresh water before you get in the pool, before you get your hair wet with pool water, because when the hair is wet, it's kind of less likely to take on the chlorine in comparison to if you wet your hair for the first time with chlorine containing pool water. My other tip is for both the pool as well as the ocean or the lake, wherever you're going, or just being outside. You know, maybe you're going for a run outside. Consider incorporating a leave-in conditioning treatment that contains UV filters, because those UV filters can coat the strands of the hair and help offset the damage to the pigments in the hair. And the other advantage of using this type of product is that for those of you who do color treat your hair, a lot of what fades the color treatment is actually UV. So this will kind of help slow that down. I'm a fan of the Bumble and Bumble Invisible Hairdresser's Oil. I'll link it down below. The conditioners will help to limit the absorption of things that can discolor your hair from pool water. It's also a heat protectant. So when you do heat style your hair, again, use the lowest heat setting and all those sorts of things. It will kind of help to offset heating of the hair strands from your treatment that would otherwise damage your hair even further. Lean into your sun hats, okay? Because they're gonna help you out when you're not like, I mean, obviously you can't wear your hat and dive into the water, right? Like, but when you're out by the pool or at the beach or just, you know, enjoying the outdoors, walking around, even walking across the parking lot, get yourself a sun hat. It's going to protect your scalp from sun damage, skin cancers in the scalp, hello. It's going to help protect your face from sun damage, as well as parts of your neck. It's going to protect your hair strands from UV weathering. So definitely lean into your sun hats. One of my favorites from Coolie Bar, I really love because it's super broad brimmed. It's got a flexible brim too, so if you're, you know, out and about and the sun is like coming at you, you can bend it down, or you know, if you want to lift it up a bit to read, you can do that. It covers a lot of territory, and it's easy to just mash up and fold up and stuff in your suitcase, your bag. It is a vacation must-have. It's one of my all-time favorite sun hats. I actually have two, a white one and a like khaki tan colored one. Also, if you're someone who enjoys the pool a lot, you actually do the pool more for athletic purposes, you know, exercise rather than just, you know, getting in the float and floating around. Wear a swim cap. Okay, if you're going to be doing, you know, laps and things, especially if you're going to do it on a daily basis, wear a swim cap to protect your hair and your scalp from, you know, sun exposure. So a swim cap can really help you out a lot. Now, when you get out of the pool water or the ocean water, make sure that you rinse the hair with fresh water, shampoo it right away, especially after swimming in a pool with, you know, a chlorine pool, to get the chlorine water off the strands. If it sits on your strands, it's kind of incubating there, making them even weaker. So go ahead and rinse it off, then follow up with shampoo. They actually make chlorine removal shampoos, which are also a great option, but that would be my other major tip for keeping your strands healthy. But we talked about the leave-in conditioning sprays. Another thing that can go a long way is a conditioning hair mask. Conditioning hair mask, in my experience, is different from just your routine conditioner in that basically it's kind of like a thicker, richer formula. So it really aggressively coats every little strand more effectively and can really help cut down on damage, frizz, brittleness, breakage. And there are a ton of great hair masks. If you've been here for a while, I love that one. The Biolage Hydrosource hair mask is a favorite. But this year or towards the end of last year, I discovered the L'Oreal Paris Elastic Fiber Hair Mask. It's all in the texture and the consistency. For me, it's called an elastic fiber hair mask because as you scoop it out to apply it to your hair, you'll see it's kind of got like this almost like stringy little fingers that come out of the product and wrap themselves around each individual strand to coat the strands. Now, don't put this up by your scalp because it will weigh down your hair quite a bit unless you have more of a textured hair type and you typically do use conditioners up closer to your roots. But if you've got straight wavy hair like mine, using stuff like that up here will just weigh down your hair to no end. Leave it in for as long as you can, honestly, in the shower. Some people like to just take like a hot towel and wrap their hair up while they have one of these in and do other stuff. and then rinse it out. But when you rinse it out, let me tell you, this leaves the hair so smooth, manageable, glossy, shiny. It's not fragrance free, but it's pretty low fragrance, I guess I would say. Like, I mean, if you're allergic to fragrance, you'd have to avoid, but if you're just annoyed by fragrance, so it kind of has that, you know, spa-like aroma when you're using it, but that does not linger at all. The other big tip though, if you have experienced a lot of damage due to maybe a combination of not only, you know, summer fun, sun, pool water, ocean water, but also you've done a lot of styling treatments and you are experiencing breakage, it's a good idea to just go ahead and trim your hair. You know, it's a myth that if your hair, you know, you need to trim your hair in order for it to grow. That's not true. But if you have trichorexis nodosa, like I said, you're gonna get annoyed because it seems like your hair will never get longer because it keeps breaking at those little weakened nodes. So just going ahead and cutting them off really can help quite a bit. Now, trichorexis nodosa, some people are born with hereditary condition that they develop this just as part of who they are, but it also can happen secondary to really aggressive hairstyling practices, overuse of heat treatments, and sun damage, as well as like that old school tip to brush your hair like 100 strokes. Yeah, that can cause trichorexis nodosa. Cutting the hair at that point can really just help get you back on track. And you know, you're growing your hair from up here at that point, so provided you don't continue to do the same insults to the strands, it should, you know, grow out long and healthy. All right guys, that is a roundup of my healthy hair care tips for the summer. I hope you guys are having a great one. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be July in like a second, if not already. I don't even know what day of the week it is. But if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.